Hey guys, it's Striker here, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you along to Spookala with me.
End up making the movie, but I think you guys should take the script out. I think right now people are so enthralled by this real life story. There's something that's connecting Orphan to all of this, and we should try and make the movie again. Because I knew how much the fans loved the character. And we went to different studios and the movie started getting put together. And then really there were like a lot of conversations of whether or not they were going to be able to make that work for me to come back and reprise the role. And it seemed like at first there was no way it was possible, and then it was like there was no way that it was not going to happen, because there was no way that we could make this movie what it needed to be unless I came back for it. So wrapping my head around it was more, as a kid I was so concerned trying to feel like I was imbuing parts of the story with her being an adult, and the reverse was trying to remind myself to be childlike all the time, so that way it was believable. And we had an amazing makeup team, we had an amazing costume designer, all of the other actors like Julia Stiles and Ross and Sutherland were wearing these like sparkly platform stripper boots that were super high, and I had like a chair that I would use that would allow me to like kind of squat almost and walk. And we filmed everything like they did The Hobbit. So it was all forced perspective. So like I'm sitting at a dinner table and my fork is like this big in comparison to everyone's normal size fork and food. And it really was cool when I saw the movie for the first time. I was really nervous. I wasn't sure if we did it. And I remember being really freaked out. So I was like, oh, I actually do kind of look like a 10-year-old. And I think because we're all in on the secret after the first movie, you could kind of laugh at the fact that, you know, it's like that meme that's going around, still trying to order from the kids buffet. And it's like my face. It's like, yeah, you know, as long as I can keep doing it, why not?
So how many people here have seen Orphan First Kill? So, okay. Did they not do a great job in that movie where you feel like, you're like, this might just be the same exact movie again, and then they're like, ha! We got you, because the swerve that you take,
the twist
in that movie was so good that you're like, oh, that was really good. You did not see that twist coming with the
I
family.
didn't either.
That twist was really good. The twist was really good.
And I think Julia didn't either. You know, when I read the script, I was like, oh, it's the same movie. And then I got to that page and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Wait, what?
So if you haven't seen the movie, do yourself a favor. First, you gotta go watch the first Orphan and go, what the hell? And then you gotta watch Orphan First Kill and see just how cool that twist is, how they could make a movie where you already knew what was gonna happen. You knew the outcome at the end, but the way they get to it was so unexpected. It's really, really good.
Yeah, Julia and I had such a good time like playing around with that, and she's such an icon of like romance and like all the movies I watched in my childhood, so I was just so happy to see her in this kind of like dark and twisted role too. She's great.
Okay, so you guys know how this works. We can continue having this conversation like this. Here we go, look at this. They knew what was up.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
How you doing? What's your name?
My name's David.
David, all right, what is your question?
So I just saw Escape Room 2 like 2 days ago, but I saw the alternate version thinking it was the real version. And I found out when I finished watching it, because me and my friend were having a watch along in 2 different cities. And I was like, oh my God, the girl from Orphans. And then she's like, bitch, what do you mean? Like, I'm watching a different movie. And then, so my question is there a possibility if there's a third one, they'd go with that version, and would you do it?
I have no idea. You know, it was so funny because we filmed that in 2018, and I remember during COVID they were like testing the film and they decided to change the ending, and my character was like a completely different ending and a completely different twist to the story. And so when you're acting in a movie, like it happens all the time, and the director Adam was like, but we're gonna put it on the DVD. And then what happened is people like you saw the alternate version and really loved it, and I think now, I don't know, if they called and asked me back, I would totally love to do it. I loved working on that series, and like, you know, the Escape Room franchise is super cool. I love escape rooms personally too, and like, it was such a fun experience. So if that's what the fans wanted, 100%.
That would be great. Thank you so much. And my favorite line was, "You and Mom would be so proud of me." You gave me such a Esther vibe. So thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Come on. Hey, how you doing? What's your name?
Very right. My name is Maddox. My
Nice to
question
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Not a franchise, but I think my most messed up horror movie I ever watched was Midsummer. And one of my friends was in that movie and he got like filleted. And I was like, I'm never gonna watch this movie again. It's horrible to watch someone you know like look like that in a movie. Just separation is kind of hard.
I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate it, but I'm good.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the questions.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Hi.
I'm Nicole.
Nicole, move up to the mic for us. We just want to make sure we can hear you.
I wanted to ask, when you were filming Orphan, what was the funnest scene?
What was the funnest scene in Orphan?
Yeah, for you personally, in either movie.
When
Which scene
we-
was the funnest for you?
When we filmed the first movie originally, my character Esther died. No, didn't die. She survived. And then they did like focus groups, which they do for every movie, and everyone told them to kill me because they didn't like Esther. They were like, kill her. So we went back and shot a different ending, which is actually on the DVD. And so the ending of the movie where I end up in the ice, that was super cool to film because we got to do like diving training, and they built this entire lake that was basically the size of this room on a soundstage. So if you can imagine like being 12 years old and like swimming in a fake lake with ice that's like actually warm, and like, you know, having like scuba training and seeing how long you can wait until you breathe underwater, and then also filming like an ending to a movie, it was a really fun experience.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And Gary, the director, like knew he wanted to cast Jennifer, like from the very, very beginning. There was like never any competition. Like it was always gonna be her, which is so funny. But so many people auditioned because everyone loved the series and so many people wanted to be a part of it. And I remember I wanted my audition to stand out, so I picked the epilogue from the end of Mockingjay to like say to the casting director at the end. And because I did that, she remembered that there's a scene where Clove kind of taunts Katniss and with this big, you know, the villain monologue that they all have. And so she thought of me for Clove, even though I was way too young, because career tribute's supposed to be 17. I read the book, supposed to be 17, training your whole life, ready to go to the games. And they sent me an email and asked me to come in and audition for Clove, and they just cast me off of that audition. So it's just, I think it's just a big lesson of like when you really want to do something, sometimes going the extra mile or doing something that's like outside of what you're supposed to do really lets people see your passion and your love for something. And really that's the reason I think that they included me in the movie, was they could tell how much it meant to me to be a part of it. So, and then you get to hang out with like all of these amazing actors and great people, and you're throwing knives and running around the cornucopia, and you're like living out this book that you loved so much. It was a really surreal and very cool experience.
Well, I would think being 15 playing someone 17.
She didn't know. It was perfect.
You could pull that character off.
Oh yeah. What are you trying to say? You know,
but I don't know, I'm not getting any younger, and I certainly am not immediately capable of doing all of the physical stuff that he could do. I could do it, but I need a lot more of a warm-up. But I would like to, I would go back and do it, I think. Because I think, but I don't know, I think it needs more than one episode though, and I don't think they would be down to do that. But I do think there is something in Origins, 100%, like Walking Dead Origins. I don't really understand why they haven't done that. It's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Because the network doesn't think that the fans want that.
Really?
That's an actual...
Write the network and let them know.
It's an actual thing. I hope I'm quoted in some paper sometime with some... Yes, AMC doesn't believe that the fans would be interested in origin stories. You really can't make up that statement.
But they did it with, didn't they do it with Alpha?
Only...
Yeah, but then maybe they saw that and it didn't...
No, and it went well.
It did go well.
Yeah, it went very well.
I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
I think it was our most watched episode of all the Walking Dead, what was it called?
I don't know, one of the spin-offs.
Tales of the Walking Dead. So,
Like, who heard would you come back? If he could swing an axe and then sit by a tree eating an apple?
He's the only one who he's the only one who could come back in any of the shows that are still running.
I've had thoughts on how it would be done and who it would be done with, but I'm not gonna get going on it because I can go on that. Like, let's talk about it.
I mean, I feel like with Jesus there was always more to be told. Like, you didn't really ever find out that much about him. And I think there is an interesting story there. But I don't know, I'm not getting any younger, and I certainly am not immediately capable of doing all of the physical stuff that he could do. I could do it, but I need a lot more of a warm-up. But I would like to, I would go back and do it, I think. Because I think, but I don't know, I think it needs more than one episode though, and I don't think they would be down to do that. But I do think there is something in Origins, 100%, like Walking Dead Origins. I don't really understand why they haven't done that. It's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Because the network doesn't think that the fans want that.
Really?
That's an actual...
Write the network and let them know.
It's an actual thing. I hope I'm quoted in some paper sometime with some... But yes, AMC doesn't believe that the fans would be interested in origin stories. You really can't make up that statement.
But they did it with, didn't they do it with Alpha?
Only...
Yeah, but then maybe they saw that and it didn't...
No, and it went well.
It did go well.
Yeah, it went very well.
I mean, it's just a no-brainer.
I think it was our most watched episode of all the Walking Dead, what was it called?
I don't know, one of the spin-offs.
Tales of the Walking Dead. So,
Like, who heard would you come back? If he could swing an axe and then sit by a tree eating an apple?
He's the only one who could come back in any of the shows that are still running.
I've had thoughts on how it would be done and how it would be done with, but I'm not gonna get going on it because I can go on that. Like, let's talk about AMC. I don't want to get on that train at the moment, but yeah, I would, but I don't think we would. I would on my terms.
Great. So we're from the same place in England. Very odd to have a conversation with him in our American accents, talking about our kids and stuff. Very bizarre, but lovely.
No, I loved it, but neither of them can really hold my axe longer than 10 seconds.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. All right, next up. How you doing, man? What's the name?
Okay, I'm Kyle.
What's up, Kyle? What's your question?
Okay, I thought this was going to be for Michael, but it's going to be for Tom. Being that you came in with Norman and Andy, being such loved characters, did you feel any kind of pressure coming in with your first episode being kind of, we don't know if you're the good guy, the bad guy, and you're going against two of our favorite people in the show?
So I didn't watch the show before I joined, so I wasn't really aware of much of that. And it was only when I started doing conventions that everyone who was coming up to me was like, "Oh, we're not sure about you." I'm like, "Really? I'm called Jesus." And I'm like, "Really nice. What are you talking about?" But yeah, at the beginning I was quite surprised by lots of people were like, "Oh, we're still not sure about you." And then I watched the show, and I realized because they've been screwed over so many times by so many different people, I completely got it then. But at the beginning that was quite surprising to me, because I'm like, "What do you mean? He's really nice." And yeah, he stole the truck, but like, they do the same to people all the time. And like, you know, so I was surprised by that. But in the end I won everyone over and people loved Jesus.
That was a good question, man. Good stuff. And you have the right to go back and change it, change a scene, change an actor, change an outcome. What's something you would have changed if you had the right, the ability to go back and fantasy put that spot?
I love my death and I love how it went, but I would like to have seen the relationship with Aaron and Jesus play out. He like lives to the end in the comic books, and there's a lot more that's not been. And also, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I've talked about this a lot in the past, but like in the comic books, Jesus has a fight with Negan, and like there's a lot of stuff that didn't happen that I was kind of prepared to do. I would have liked the Negan fight to have happened. Yeah, that would have been fun.
I would have liked at the end of season 10, the actual season 10 where Beta dies and all that. I wanted to do a moment where me and Ryan fought. I wanted a Jerry Beta fight. I thought it was cool that these are the two right-hand men. I wanted Beta to really mess up Jerry, and then right as he's about to die, that's when the whole Negan and Daryl thing happens. But I wanted to just can we have a big guy fight, like muscle and tall, just bulky football player looking dudes just going at it. I would have loved that. So yeah, I'd like that scene. Maybe it did happen, you just cut it. Yeah.
Not involving me, I would have loved to have seen Herschel go throughout, because I feel like we lost a lot from that, having someone of that generation on the show and that perspective. From a personal standpoint, I'd love to have seen Abraham and Sasha go a few more episodes into all-out war so we can see the two of them operate together as soldiers.